Greetings, unsettled souls. Welcome to the Correct Views. Semi-beat the Gangi during political commentary for the Media Speaks. You guys might know me from the Conservative Daily Post and from Teddy Stick and from Blasting News. Hello, friends. Thank you for tuning in. I didn't do a New Year's show this year. I just wasn't feeling it. I figure I will get right into the news of the year, though, as I remind all of you that this is listener supported. Every penny that you give to me goes towards a better show, and you can donate at thecorrectviews@hotmail.com. That's what I use all the money that you guys give me for. Now, I do want to go into this immediately from the start. How many of you remember Mr. Al Gore? Those of you that don't, you're not missing much. But 9 years ago, Al Gore predicted that the North Pole would be completely free of ice today. There he is, nicely on his glacier. He's also the guy that said that polar bears couldn't swim. So let's remember what we're talking about, who we're talking about here. 9 years ago this month, Al Gore predicted that the North Polar ice cap would be completely ice-free within 5 years. Gore made the prediction to a German audience in 2008. He told them that the entire North Polar ice cap will disappear in 5 years. This wasn't the only time that Gore made the ice-free prediction. He's been predicting it since 2007. According to Al Gore, the North Pole should be completely melted by now. And again, for those of you that would doubt me, there is the video right here. Oh, it's a very long video, so I don't know if I'm going to play the whole thing. I think I'm kidding.
Capture the astonishment that the experts in the science of ice felt when they saw this minimum in 2005, which meant that the amount of ice that had melted, it's been roughly the size of the continental United States, minus an area roughly the size of Arizona. Nothing.
So, I mean, he was using a perfectly normal occurrence, which happens every year, something he did not tell people. Every year it freezes and every year it comes back. How many of you don't know that? They use data from melting that happens every year, but it always comes back. Somehow that's lost on a great number of people. Former Vice President Al Gore references computer modeling to suggest that the North Polar ice cap may lose virtually all of its ice within the next 7 years. Some of the models suggest that there is a 75% chance that the entire North Pole ice cap during some of the summer months could be completely ice-free within the next 5 to 7 years, says Gore. In January of 2006, he posted within the next 10 years. He posited that the world will reach a point of no return and a true planetary emergency due to global warming. Of course, this turned out to be nothing other than complete lunacy. And he has a history of many other predictions that have, friends, simply never come true. Moving on, listen to this here as we move away from the warming lie. And friends, it is a lie. And I can tell you this. Look up no warming in 18 years if you doubt me. I dare you to. Go ahead. NASA has not been able to find any warming in 19 years. This is a lie that you are paying for. And if you're sick of it, then you can do something about it. One of the things you can do is share this video. All right, friends, Yahoo News, 5 people, including 4 members of the same family, were killed in Christmas Eve plane crash. This happened in Florida. 5 people, including 4 members of the same family, killed Sunday morning when their twin-engine plane crashed and burst into flames shortly after takeoff. The video here that I'm not going to play all of says that they couldn't believe anyone was taking off in this.
Tarmac, 5 people killed when it crashed on takeoff.
One of our helicopter pilots was in the hangar, heard the plane starting to take off, and thought to himself, my gosh, I can't believe someone's trying to take off in this weather.
Well, it didn't end well, friends. Unfortunately, the plane burst into flames. The pilot was a 70-year-old named John Shannon, and his 4 passengers, including 2 daughters, a son-in-law, and a family friend, were killed immediately. Survival, Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd said, according to WTSP TV. When you look at the crash, the only thing that you can say is nobody survived. As you can see there's not much left. Shannon, the lawyer from Lakeland, Florida, had a plan to fly the Cessna 340 plane to Key West. typically just a 45-minute journey. The group had intended to have lunch in Key West on Christmas Eve. Before flying back in the day, the New York Times reported the crash victims were identified as Olivia Shannon, she's 24, Victoria Shannon, 26, a teacher and a student there, John Worthington, 27, also a law student, and Krista Clayton, 32, was a teacher. The Worthingtons were just married in June. The cause of the crash remains unknown, but officials said the plane was heading into very dense fog. Visibility at the time had been pretty much zero, and no one should have attempted to take off in a small plane in that weather, said Judd, who to Times reported has a lifelong friend of the pilot. Our heart breaks, he said. You know, certainly we wish we could rewind this, and if we could, I would wrestle him to the floor to keep him from getting into that plane this morning. Moving on, friends, you know, a lot of these stories that trickle in after Christmas are like nothing that you've ever heard of before, and I promise you this here is one of them. Couple who wanted to give weed for Christmas were the prosecutors' parents. Some people might hint at collusion here. The elderly parents of this country's deputy prosecutor were arrested last week and accused of driving marijuana across country. And they planned to give it as Christmas presents. Patrick Jarrett, 83, and his wife Barbara, 70, in Clear Lake Oaks, California, were apprehended following a traffic stop on December 19th on Interstate 80 in York, Nebraska. The couple had loaded the bed of their pickup truck with bags full of pot, which they said they intended to distribute to holiday gifts and relatives in Vermont, Boston, according to the York City's police department. They could have stopped by Ohio and dropped some off for me. No, wait, I didn't say that. Of course not. The couple's son is Justin Geron, the chief deputy Chittenden County State's attorney. Oops. The county seat of Chittenden County, home of about 160,000 people on the shores of Lake Champlain. Justin is in no way connected to this allegation other than by relation, his boss, Chittenden County State Attorney Sarah George, wrote in an email. No, of course not. Justin is and has been dedicated public servant for 15 years. I assure you that he is surprised and as upset as anyone by these allegations. Jared is responsible for handling the criminal prosecution in Vermont's busiest state's attorney's office. Among them, the prosecution of Brian Rooney, who abducted, raped, and murdered a 20-year-old university student named Michelle Garner Quinn in 2006. The pot was packaged in more than 25 clear plastic bags. At least one empty bulk-sized container of cheese puffs, according to a photo, was seized. The street value is close to $300,000. Now, if they were going to spend $300,000, regardless of who the pothead is, or regardless of how much they may or may not smoke, listeners, let me know if I'm wrong. I think they probably would have rather had the money. Who knows? Friends, we do have a couple stories more to get to. Drinking more coffee may undo liver damage from booze. This is great news for anybody who likes to indulge from time to time. This isn't a green light to abuse your body like a sewer, but it is good news for those of you that sometimes may partake a little heavier than you should. Drinking more coffee might help reduce the kind of liver damage that's associated with overindulging in food and alcohol. A review of existing studies suggests food as well. Our researchers analyzed data from 9 previously published studies, a total of more than 430,000 participants, and they found that drinking 2 additional cups of coffee a day was linked to a 44% lower risk of developing liver cirrhosis. It's potentially fatal, and there's no cure for cirrhosis, said the study's author, Dr. Oliver Kennedy, Southampton University in the UK. Therefore, it is significant that the risk of developing cirrhosis may be reduced by the consumption of coffee, a cheap, ubiquitous, and quite well-tolerated beverage, Kennedy added by email. Cirrhosis kills more than 1 million people every year, and it can be caused by hepatitis infection, excessive alcohol consumption, immune disorders, fatty liver disease, and can be tied to obesity. In 8 of the 9 studies analyzed, increasing coffee consumption by 2 cups a day was associated with a significant reduction in cirrhosis. It's a complex mixture coffee is containing hundreds of chemical compounds, and it is unknown which of these is responsible for protecting the liver. Well, we have covered here in the past that it also makes you urinate almost nonstop. So clearly, if you can help your kidneys a little bit by keeping dangerous toxins out of them. At the same time that you're going ahead and protecting yourself from any alcohol or food intake, that matters. Take it from me, my dad was not an alcoholic, and food killed him. He died at 69 years old of liver/gallbladder cancer. So it matters, friends, it matters. And that brings us to the DUMBDEE of the day. Oh yeah, guys, we'll be doing the next half of the month, probably within the next week. And I'm having the people mailing them prove to me that they are being mailed. Along with the Fukushima update, that'll be coming as well. This is for all of you that like a little bit of that pure sex, deep sex, root sex, hard sex. That's a Lords of Acid quote. Wife accidentally bites off her husband's testicle in a surge of excitement during an aggressive lovemaking session in Taiwan. Oops. Is that what you say after that? A man in Taiwan was reportedly rushed to the hospital on Boxing Day, the day after Christmas, after his wife chewed off one of his testicles during an aggressive lovemaking session. When paramedics arrived at the couple's home, I guess they were chomping at the bit. They apparently saw the 51-year-old man, surnamed Wang. His name is Wang. Oh, God. That is why you should read these before you... That is why you should always read the entire story before you go live. Because if you don't, and you find out the guy that got his testicle bitten off is named Wang, you might just start laughing in the middle of your report. He was wearing a robe and holding his severed testicle in a rice bowl, I guess, so she could take another bite. Well, she repeatedly explained, I accidentally bit it off. Taiwan news website, the Apple Daily, and Apple Daily will keep the nevermind, reported that the man's right ball had been ripped off by the wife surnamed Hisia, who was 49. He called the ambulance to the home around 2 a.m. on December the 26th. It's reported that Wang, who works at a car repair shop, he and Heish have been married for many years, and they have 2 children. Well, they won't be having probably anymore. Wang was still recovering, and it says, we are concerned that he would not be able to regain proper function of his testicle, which could lead to infertility in the future. I would say that the man is lucky to have it at all, friends. And if you feel the same, if you think that life is a ball, maybe only one of them, then you can donate, friends, at the correct views at Yahoo, the correct views at hotmail.com, hotmail, through PayPal. The ball dropped on New Year's Eve, as it did on Boxing Day, I guess. And it's a new year. Let's help support the show, help me keep going in the right directions, friends. Good day, and God bless. And watch out for those excited 49-year-olds